All right, guys, gals, and N pals, hear me out. You
Welcome to
guys in
capitalism, Mickey.
chat are going to ask me for dating advice, and I'm going to respond. And I'm going to give you the best responses that I can give. So if any of you guys in chat have questions for me, just do at Xanderhall and ask me your question. Try to keep it as brief as you can, and I will answer it as best as I can, and obviously this will go up as a video. How do I stop being an incel? Well, incel's an identity that you hold on to, but if you mean stop being involuntarily celibate as a concept, well, you have to have sex to become, well, or become a volcel and become voluntarily celibate and just not really care about sex. You could just focus your life on something sex related, non-relationship related, and find fulfillment through that. But I think it's healthy to want to seek fulfillment through a relationship or sex, just as long as you don't put all your cards into it. So what I'm going to recommend for you is that you focus on yourself. And I know that sounds stereotypical, but I really mean it. I really genuinely mean it. What is the best and most ethical time to disclose a trans identity to a potential date? Whew. All right. So, it's definitely going to be before you're leaving a public location. It's got to be. For your own safety, it's got to be. You can't do it once you are, outside and walking to one of you guys' place. You can't do it when you are, about to kiss. You can't do it when you're, at one of your places or in a car or something like that. You need to do it in a public place, like in the middle of a restaurant or something like that, in the middle of, whatever, just in public where people can see. Good people that, if you get assaulted or screamed at, will come to your defense. Not people who look like they might join in, you know what I mean? Gauge the crowd, right? And you're going to want to say it pretty early on before the flirtation gets too high, because you have to understand that if you're a trans woman and you're dealing with the kind of guy who would be like this, the more he flirts with you, even if he doesn't touch you, that could make his embarrassment when you reveal that you're trans, if he's then embarrassed by that, turn into murderous rage potentially. You have to be really, really careful. Now, ideally, you would say it before even meeting if you have that opportunity. If you're just talking. Xanderhall, what is your thought on what to wear at a first date? Most guys think dressing fancy leaves a good impression, but that doesn't apply to a lot of first dates. Let me tell you this, okay? It depends on where you're going, okay? You have to know where you're going on the first date. If you're going to a nice restaurant, then you dress nice. If you're going to a casual place, you dress casually. But there's a floor, and the floor is pretty high. The lowest I'd ever say that you should be dressing for a first date in terms of clothing, unless the person that you're talking to is different and they've specifically said what kind of clothes they like to see you in or what they want you to wear. The lowest tier of clothing I'd say that you're going to want to be wearing are going to be a nice polo shirt and khaki pants with dress shoes. Lonnie, I know that you're not into that, but I'm from Florida and that was the go-to. I'm from Florida and that was the go-to. No polo shirts ever. Polo shirts are a nice shirt. It's a nice shirt that makes you look like you've put some effort into your clothing. As an autistic person, what's the best way for me to tell if someone is actually interested in me or if they're just messing around in a way that comes off as flirtatious? Honestly, Megamania. So here's the thing. I want you to weigh your options here. Let's say you think a girl or a guy. I'm going to say girl because most of these worries are not as big if you're a girl. I'm sorry. Women have this privilege. It's just true. Squad W, my brothers. Anyway, so let's say there's this girl and you think she might be flirting with you. My recommendation is just ask if they're flirting before you proceed. Say, "Are you flirting with me?" And if they're flirting, they're going to say something if they say no, you stop. No matter what, you stop right there if they say no. Once you've heard the word no, it's over. But if they say maybe, that's yes. Maybe when offered that question means yes. That means yes, continue when it comes to flirting. Not when it comes to do you want to fuck, but when it comes to flirting, just talking, and sort of like banter, then that means yes, like continue flirting. I'm fucking with you. I'm reeling you in. You know, I'm playing with you a little bit, right? And from there, you just kind of have to gauge it out on a case by case basis. It's kind of hard for me to answer that question without knowing your exact situation, but that's the advice that I'd give. Where should you go on a first date? You don't want to go to the movies, and you don't want to go to like a sports event or a show or anything like that. You don't want to go to a place where you're going to sit in the dark and be quiet together and watch something. You don't want to go that. You don't want to really go with that. I honestly recommend like coffee, dinner, lunch, or a walk in the park with food. There needs to be food. You need to be paying for, if you're a guy, you got to be paying for food in the first date, unless the girl insists otherwise. And you need to do something where you're going to be able to talk and actually get to know each other. That's the point of a first date. You not need to be just going and seeing a movie. Like, that's just kind of, I think that's so cringe. Like, in hindsight, I so regret ever going on a first date to a movie with a girl. Like, oh my God, that's so fucking cringe. Like, Jesus Christ. Dinner is usually a bit much. Coffee or drinks or lunch is good. Yeah, something like that is also good, Lonnie. Nothing expensive. Yeah, don't go anywhere too expensive for a first date. Yeah. Like, I want to make it clear here, guys. Failure on a first date because something that is... Okay, so let's say you go on a first date with somebody or you ask somebody out and something about you that is true ends up preventing the relationship from happening. You get rejected or the relationship ends or you get turned down or you don't get a second date because of something about yourself that is true. A true like thing about yourself that is, you know, a thing that you admit like, okay, I maybe am like this. That's a win because maybe you don't need to change yourself to get with a specific person. Maybe you're looking for a person who's okay with you being the way that you are. And maybe you've just taken a W because maybe now you've just gotten through one more roadblock between you and your perfect partner. My first date with my last partner, we went to dinner. He paid for dinner and drinks, and I paid for the cab and ride there / back. That's feminist. Listen to what your date is saying. Pay attention. Oh, yeah, definitely. I don't know, Crash Override. Women love food. And so do men, honestly. And NBs probably do, too. I think everybody just fucking loves food. And the quickest way to anybody's heart is through their stomach. So, like, if you want to, like, make sure someone had a good time on a date, you get them food. Like, hold on. I want to make it very clear here. Do not let a girl go hungry on a date, okay? Do not let a girl go hungry on a date. And if a guy is letting you go hungry on a date and you're a girl, then he's not a good dude. And he is not doing a good job of being on a date with you. And you need to mention, like, give a hint that you're hungry and stuff like that and say, hey, I'm a little hungry. But, like, if he's, like, not getting you food, if he's like, yeah, sorry, don't really want to get food, then, like, he's not doing a very good job at taking you on a date, is he? Oh, my God, here's good advice. If you are eating at, like, you're getting lunch or dinner or breakfast or some, you know, food or something on any date and you get the opportunity to order that food, order the least messy, most easy to have good manners thing to eat possible. Like, maybe instead of eating, like, maybe you go to get breakfast. Maybe instead of getting, like, a big fucking omelet and, like, pancakes with sticky syrup for the date, maybe instead you get, like, scrambled eggs, bacon, and hash browns. Something that's, like, literally just edible with simple bites from a fork that's not going to, like, have a high likelihood of falling into your lap or onto your shirt and getting it all greasy. Nothing that's going to get your mouth all dirty. Like, just, yeah, you guys, yeah, manners are really important. Like, really, really be important. I turned down a free turkey dinner from my insurance company because I'm vegan. What a mistake that was. That wasn't a question, but thank you. Clingy, watch out for clingy. It could be an unhealthy relationship. Yes, guys. Guys, do not be afraid to terminate a relationship if you're seeing red flags. If you're seeing those red flags and you feel like maybe it's time, it might be time, don't wait for it to get too bad, because there's some guys I know who've had women ruin their lives, like legitimately, and women who've had guys ruin their lives, vice versa. I've met women who got killed by guys, who guys got them killed because they were in a relationship with them, and it was just not. And the guy drank and drove, and now she's dead. She was on my swim team. There have been guys who've had their lives ruined by relationships with certain women. Don't do the whole I can fix thing. The red flags are red flags for a reason. You need to evacuate that shit like it's the Death Star and it's about to explode. Stage 4 clinger abort mission, true. Huge red flag, by the way. If they haven't seen Lord of the Rings and they're not interested in it, you need to dump them on the spot. If you don't think there's any way you can convince them to consume any Lord of the Rings movie at some point, then there's no point in pursuing the relationship. Thankfully, Lonnie has agreed to watch one Lord of the Rings movie after I finish watching all the Millennium movies with her, so I don't have to dump her. But, had we not worked that out, then it might not have worked out in the end, because that's really important. That's a huge red flag if your partner doesn't like Lord of the Rings. You'll never finish those? Oh, we will, Lonnie, we will. I don't think you know how dedicated I am to the Lord of the Rings.